afternoon. Very exciting day for us here at Stonehill, and I just wanted to outline how things are going to kind of go today. We have three speakers who will speak today, and then we'll have some pictures, and then anybody for individual questions. We'll just do some individual Q&A off to the side after. So without any further ado, I'll welcome our Director of Athletics, Dean O'Keefe.
Thanks, Doug, and welcome everybody. I appreciate everyone taking a moment to be here with us today. I know it's miserable outside, but there's an exciting, fun thing happening in the room, as well as some free pizza afterwards. So I appreciate taking time to be here for our announcement, especially our student athletes. I know we have a large number of student athletes here, a great contingent from our men's hockey program, a number of other sports, as well as our Student Athlete Advisory Council, who is taking a breather from their meeting today to be with us. So thanks for being here. They represent over 450 student athletes on our campus, competing currently in 21 sports. Next year, with the addition of women's swimming, that number will grow to 22. And if things go well over the next 5 to 10 minutes, that should grow to 23 sports. So it's a credit to them and all the good things they do. Thanks as well to our staff and our coaching staff that are here out in force today for this announcement. There's no question that even if you don't play ice hockey or you haven't ever put on skates, that it's our coaching staff, it's our staff, and it's our current student athletes who really made today possible, because they've shown that there's a blueprint for success for student athletes here at Stonehill, that our student athletes, we're very proud of the fact that our student athletes have one of the best academic success rates in all of the country, regardless of sport, and that we know there's a formula between our faculty, staff, coaches, and student athletes to be very competitive in your chosen sport, academically, as well as in the community, and go off to do great things after graduation. So thank you for all you do. A couple of folks I just want to recognize that are here as well. Outside of the Stonehill community, we have some representation from the Northeast 10 Conference. Julie Rupert, the commissioner, and members of her staff are here, so thank you, Julie, for being here. Darren Montgomery as well, Director of Athletics at St. Anselm, who's also a member of the Northeast 10 and the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. Chris Kenny, Director of Athletics at St. Michael's College, also a fellow Northeast 10 Conference member, as well as a member of the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. You know, we have coaching staff here from St. Michael's as well, from their women's program. So thanks, everyone, for being here. With that, we're going to have a few people that are involved in this formal announcement. You will hear from Bob DeGregorio, the commissioner of the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. Also joining us for some of the ceremony will be Pauline Dobrowski. Pauline, of course, is our Vice President for Student Affairs and has been instrumental in leading this charge to the addition of another sport. And at this point, I do want to introduce the President of Stonehill, Father John Denning.
Afternoon, everyone. So good to be with you, and certainly great to be with our athletic coaches and our student athletes and representatives from the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. It's a great day for Stonehill. I'm so happy to announce that we'll be adding our 23rd Varsity athletic program with the addition of women's ice hockey. We're certainly excited to begin competition in the 21-22 year. And for Stonehill, this follows the addition of women's golf and also women's swimming, and we're so glad to complement that with women's ice hockey. This creates an additional opportunity for us, for all of our student athletes, certainly to cheer on the Skyhawks as we compete, but also to invite, really continue to invite talented student athletes to the school to play women's ice hockey. I look forward to that and to really the addition of this sport. I'd like to thank Bob in a special way. He's been such a credible advocate for women's ice hockey, and especially the inclusion of Stonehill in the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. So we're really happy you're here, Commissioner, and thanks so much for everything you've done to make this day a reality for the college. So I'm so excited about the addition of women's ice hockey, and certainly can't wait to cheer on student athletes who'll be competing on this varsity level. So thanks so much, and thanks everyone for being here today.
So you've heard it here first. We're officially in the women's ice hockey business. Thank you, Father John. With that, I would like to introduce the commissioner of the New England Women's Hockey Alliance, Mr. Bob DeGregorio.
Thank you, everyone. Just for your own edification, I'm very familiar with the Northeast 10 and Stonehill College and its members, having been the athletic director for 25 years at Merrimack College and involved in the Northeast 10. Always a great conference, both academically and athletically, and competitive nationally by the number of national championships that the member institutions of that conference have won over the years. Father Denning, Vice President Pauline Dobrowski, Director of Athletics Dean O'Keefe. We met this summer on several occasions, discussed women's ice hockey at Stonehill College. You followed the admission process, and I'm happy to announce today that the directors of the New England Women's Hockey Alliance on November 5th, 2019, voted unanimously to admit Stonehill College into the NEWHA, New England Women's Hockey Alliance Conference, beginning administratively 2020-21, a lot more meetings, Dean, and beginning with regular season competition and eligible for the league championship beginning with the 21-22 season. So on behalf of the directors of the New England Women's Hockey Alliance, welcome and congratulations on your election to the league. Thank you. No pressure, Dean, on winning a national championship within the first 4 years will be fine.
Thanks very much, Bob. We are, of course, thrilled to be members of the NEWHA, the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. Such a great conference with friends from the Northeast 10 that we'll be competing against, as well as some new adversaries that we don't traditionally compete against in other sports. So we look forward to the blending of Division I and Division II membership in the conference, competing at the very highest level of women's hockey and attracting some of the best and brightest students from not just the Northeast, but from the upper Midwest and Canada and places all around the globe. So exciting future. Now that we have a team officially and a conference, those are two big steps, but just want to quickly, before we take some pictures, mention a few other next steps that are important. One is a home for our team to practice and compete. We're happy to have Scott Harlow here today. Scott is the owner of the Bridgewater Ice Arena right down the street in Bridgewater. We have entered into a partnership with Scott to have our women's program, when they're up and running, skates out of Bridgewater as their home ice for competition as well as practice. Scott, of course, is not only very well known in hockey circles from coast to coast, also has some very strong Stonehill ties. At one point was behind the bench as our head coach of our men's program before NHL scouting and other things took him in other directions. In addition, he's a proud parent, had his daughter recently graduate from Stonehill, so thrilled to have a partnership and have a business partner in Scott, and we're excited to play out of Bridgewater. Next step as well will be the beginning of starting to look for our next head coach and our first head coach of women's ice hockey. That process will start immediately. We'll begin to search far and wide for the best individual to start to assemble a program and bring our women's program to the ice in October of 2021. So that process will start immediately, go throughout the spring semester, and we expect at some point in the spring semester to have some more news on that, knowing that that head coach is out there somewhere, very, very likely coaching right now at the collegiate level. So it may take a little bit of time, but we know in the spring semester we'll have that individual on board and allow them a good year and a half to do all the things that you need to do to start a program and start it right. So with that, thanks again for being here. We're excited about the sport of women's ice hockey to add to all the other great sport offerings we have here on campus. We're going to take some pictures with Pauline and Bob and Father John, and there's pizza to the left. Dig in.